Hi guys, and welcome to Ivy Lessons, where we learn French the easy, fun, and exciting way. For today's video, we're going to be studying passé composé. Okay, very quick, very simple, very easy. Thank you so much for clicking. Thank you so much for joining, subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I would really appreciate it. And let's just go on this French learning journey together. So, passé composé, what exactly is the passé composé? So, you know where in English we have the past participle saying, I have cooked, right? Have, your auxiliary verb or your helping verb, it's helping the main verb cooked. So, I have cooked. So, in passé composé, you have être or avoir, which is to be or to have. These are the auxiliary verbs used in passé composé. In conjugating passé composé, être or avoir, conjugated in the present tense, and then you have your main verb or the action verb conjugated in its participe passé. That means in its past participle. So, in an example like il a mangé, right? So you can see that the verb is conjugated in present tense where you have the a or the est or the on. Those are the verbs conjugated in present tense, and then you have the manger, choisi, entendu, conjugated in participe passé, right? For majority of verbs, they take avoir as the auxiliary verb when conjugating participe passé. Only 17 out of all the French verbs in the world are conjugated with être as the auxiliary. So in the next video, I will be talking about conjugating passé composé using the verb être. Okay, so don't worry. So all these 17 verbs, they are the only ones you conjugate using être as the auxiliary. So for today's focus, we're just tackling the avoir verb as auxiliary. So we have regular verbs and irregular verbs using avoir as the auxiliary. So regular ER, IR, and RE verbs. Okay, so for the regular verbs ending in ER, you would conjugate your avoir, as I said, in present tense, and then your participe passé. Formation of the participe passé is, say you have your verb chanter in infinitive, right? Take out the ER, add an E with an accent, right? Your participe passé is now chanter. Just danser. You take out the ER, and then just add an E with an accent. Okay, so you have danser. And it goes on like that for the regular verbs ending in ER. Now, for the verbs, regular verbs ending in IR, the participe passé ends in an I. So, for example, choisir, remplir, agir, abolir, finir, réussir. They all end in I for the participe passé. So, where you have choisir, the participe passé would now be choisi. Okay, so some examples are there for you. I'm not going to be able to give you all the verbs. That's quite impossible. That would have to be on you to do, to read more, research more, use the language more in maybe your essays or whatever French work you have to do. But basically just use the language and try to communicate. So that's the best way to learn, and then, build up your vocabulary. So, so regular verbs ending in IR, the participe passé ends in I. So some examples are right here. And now, regular verbs ending in RE, the participe passé ends in a U. So verbs like attendre, défendre, fondre. So the participe passé, you have attendu, défendu, fondu, perdu, rendu, etc., etc. Now, moving on to irregular verbs. Yeah, so you have irregular verbs whose participe passé end with a U. So like avoir, boire, voir, lire, etc., etc. You have U. So you want to say, I drank Coke last night. J'ai bu du coca hier soir. I hope you get it. And then maybe I saw a girl yesterday. J'ai vu une fille hier. Okay. We have more irregular verbs. We have irregular verbs whose participe passé end with an IT. So verbs like dire, écrire, conduire. You have dit, écrit, conduit. Those are the participe passé. Now we have other participe passé ending in IS. So for example, prendre and mettre. You have pris and mis as the participe passé. So like, you want to say, I put my bag on the table. J'ai mis mon sac sur la table. Okay, so now we have some participe passés, some verbs whose participe passé are just completely irregular. We have the verb être, faire, ouvrir, and offrir, among others, whose parties passées are as follows: été, fait, ouvert, offert. Alright? You just really need to know them. The more you practice, the more you know. Okay, so now, NB. This is something you should just know, right? So for certain verbs, where you have a verb like prendre, you can see that in a verb like comprendre, it contains prendre. So if the participe passé for prendre is pris, automatically the participe passé for comprendre, since it has an element of prendre in it, is going to be compris. Same goes for ouvrir and couvrir. So ouvrir's participe passé is ouvert, so couvrir's participe passé is going to be couvert. Alright, same goes for mettre and permettre. You can see an element of mettre in the word permettre, so automatically. That's it for today's video. This is just the part 1. I am going to be uploading the part 2 shortly, and that will tackle passé composé using the auxiliary être. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching and staying with me to the very end of the video. Please do not forget to like, comment below, and subscribe to my channel. I love you all. Bisou.